Well, good morning, everybody. It's time for a special edition of Morning Manna. Certainly, I'm coming on about 10 minutes earlier than I typically do. And the reason is today is International Women's Day. So I'm going to do two morning mannas. One for International Women's Day, and then I'm going to come back in my normal time and do my morning manna that I always do on a Friday. I give a trailer for the message that I'm going to preach at my church at New Life here in O'Fallon, Illinois, the shadow of the arch on the east side of the river. And I'm going to do that at my normal time. But today, if you look at your calendar, you see today is International Women's Day, and I want to deal with women leadership. Women leadership in this special edition of Morning Manna. So hang in there. We're going to share this, then we're going to go off stream, and then we're going to come back. So hang in there with me this morning. You're going to get a double dose, 2 for 1. How about that on this morning? Let me greet some people, and then we're going to get right into this morning's manna of special edition of International Women's Day, Women Leadership, Women in Leadership. How about that? Good morning, Anna. How are you? Good morning, Yvonne. How are you? Marie, how are you? Brother Pope, how are you? Diane, how are you? Dawn, how are you? Elder Mobley, how are you on this morning? Brother Nesbitt, how are you? Did you guys know that today is International Women's Day? If you know that, if you knew that, put it in the chat area. If you already knew that today is International Women's Day. And today, of course, I'm going to be dealing with women's leadership, women in leadership. Now, I'm going to circle right back and do what I always do on Friday, and that is come back and give you a trailer of the message that I'll be ministering, spiritual formation, self-development. Did a little bit of that yesterday. Going to follow more on that. But this morning, Marie says she knew that it was International Women's Day. So you already know the text to talk, the takeaway, that's the lens that we always look at, even special editions on. And today is International Women's Day, and I need you to share it right now. Share it right now, and we're going to get right to it. I want you to turn with me to Judges 4, 8 through 9. Judges 4, 8 through 9. Judges 4, 8 through 9. The New Century Version is what I'm going to give. A modern translation of Judges 4, 8 through 9. And we're dealing with women in leadership. Now, before I read that, let me give you some context, if you will, modern day context. As a PhD in organizational leadership, then we study all types of leaders and organizations and how those two things come together. When you do the research on women in leadership, now you can get a span of things. Some will say, well, there's not much difference between women leading and how they lead and men. Others will say, no, there is a tremendous difference. And then there's some research that will fall somewhere in the middle. For anything, for any subject matter, you can find the research to support your position. But I want to come at it from a different point of view this morning. In my mind, and my experience, and be turning to Judges 4, 8 through 9, women lead differently than men. Women lead differently than men. I can't wait till when we get a woman president. Not Nikki Haley, of course. I'm not interested in that because she doesn't think that America has ever been racist. Well, that's another subject. Let me get back to my point. But I can't wait because I believe women lead differently, and you can make an argument in some cases better. So let's deal with this. Text talk takeaway. Here we go. Judges 4, 8 through 9. Judges 4, 8 through 9. Then Barak said to Deborah, or Deborah, however you want to pronounce it, I will go if you will go with me. But if you won't go with me, I won't go. Of course I will go with you, Deborah answered. But you will not get credit for the victory. The Lord will let a woman defeat Sisera. So Deborah went with Barak to Kadesh. What's going on in this text? In this text, Deborah or Deborah, however you want to pronounce her name, is a judge. She's been called to bring leadership in this time of the Israelites possessing the promises in the book of Judges. And Barak is a general over the commanding chief of staff, if you will. He is the five-star general over the army of Israel. They are responding to their enemy. And he says, look, I'll go if you go. Bro got good sense. But if you don't go, Deborah, however you want to pronounce her name, I'm not going. I need your leadership. I need your leadership. Her response is wonderful. She says, I'm going to go, no question about it. Definitely going to bring my leadership to the table. But guess what? Neither one of us is going to get the victory. God's going to get the victory. Now, when we look at this excellent leadership of this powerful woman who leads Israel to victory, because she says a woman is going to do this, and she sets the whole scene up. Let me finish the whole story. She sets the whole scene up, and then in the tent, there was a woman that was dispatched that took a peg from setting up the tent and drove it through the temple of the king that was up against Israel. You better not fool with these women. Are you kidding me? She said, I got this thing down and we gonna win. Well, I want to raise the question. That's the text. Here's the talk, and you have to participate. There's Oprah, there's Michelle Obama, there's Ida B. Wells, there's Sojourner Truth, there's Harriet Tubman, there's Rosa Parks, and the list goes on. Angela Davis, and the list goes on. Shirley Chisholm, and the list goes on. But I want to ask you this question this morning. Who are the women whom you can call out now that says, we're going to win this battle? And you have seen that in your life. I'm going to give you 3 women. I want you to put the 3 women, 3, in the chat area. For me, the first woman, the last woman, the woman in my life, is my mom. My mom. Here's a picture of my mom and my dad. My mother was a wonderful woman, a praying woman. I miss her to this day. I miss her to this day. She was the one that helped me drive for education. I have 5 degrees that I account to her. My 6th degree, that's the only degree I got for myself. The first 5 were all about trying to make her and my dad proud. My bachelor's, my master's, my educational specialist, my MDiv, my first doctorate degree. For her and my dad. Second woman, my sisters. My sisters. I can't have a picture of all of them right now, but my sisters, my 5 sisters, 2 of which are with the Lord right now. They were always there, very encouraging. They were always lifting me up, pushing me forward. Who's the third woman? I want you to put the women in your life. Put them in there. Put them in the chat. I don't see it coming up. It's my wife. First lady. Tremendous leadership. Tremendous leadership. These are the 3 that I can raise that says, here are, I'm not going into battle without you. If you go with me, we gonna win. But if you don't, we gonna lose. Put those women. Let's honor those women on this morning. Don't just put mommy. Put their names in there. Let's shout them out in a great way, in a wonderful way, on this International Women's Day. Because these are the women, as Barak said to Deborah, or Deborah, however you want to pronounce her name. I will go if you go with me, but if you won't go with me, I won't go. Of course I will go with you, Deborah answered, but you will not get credit for the victory, and neither will I. The Lord will let a woman defeat Sisera. So Deborah went with Barak to Kadesh, and they beat them. How about that? How about that? Well, to all the ladies out there, all the women out there, you bring great leadership to families, to communities, to your jobs, to your own self. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to circle back with more morning manna when I just do what I typically do on a Friday morning. Share the manna to bless you, bless somebody else.